gentlemen, and welcome to the 2016 IIHF World Championship game between Team Canada and Team Germany. Добрый вечер, уважаемые любители хоккея. И добро пожаловать на игру IIHF чемпионата мира по хоккею 2016 между командой Канады и командой Германии. The game officials for this game have been licensed and assigned by the International Ice Hockey Federation. Представляем судейскую бригаду матча судьи Международной Федерации Хоккея. The referee of the game are Josef Kubush and Tobias Wirli. Главные судьи матча Josef Kubush и Tobias Wirli. The linesmen are линейные судьи Roman Katterli and Johnson Ritter. The starting lineup for Team Germany. Стартовый состав команды Германии. Goalkeeper, вратарь, number 51, номер 51, Timo Bielmeier. Defenders, защитники, number 7, номер 7, Daryl Boyle. Number 82, номер 82, Зинан Агдаг. Forwards, нападающие. Number 12, номер 12, Брукс Мейси. Number 29, номер 29, Леон Драйзайтель. Number 92, номер 92, Марсель Нобельс. The starting lineup for Team Canada. Стартовый состав команды Канады. Goalkeeper, вратарь, number 33, номер 33, Cam Talbot. Defenders, защитники, number 44, Morgan Riley, номер 44. Number 8, номер 8, Chris Dennis. Forwards, нападающие, number 38, номер 38, Boone Jenner.
Head coach Bill Peters, assistant coach Dave Cameron looking on as Canada tries to improve its mark to 4-0 at this World Championship. Leon Draisaitl of the Edmonton Oilers and the Germans are 1-2. One of the losses, though, in a shootout, so they have gained 4 points so far. Germany has faced Canada 18 times at the World Championship and beaten them once. And Ray Ferraro played in that game in 1996 in Vienna.
I played great, though.
In the 5-1 loss?
But yeah, I don't think any of us played very well. Yeah, we got off to a rough start in that tournament. But rallied for a silver.
Won a silver medal.
It's a long route to the silver medal when you lose your first couple.
Chris Tatum goes back for it.
Still thinking about that. Glad to be part of that team, Lloyd. Thanks for bringing that up.
Just thought I'd mention it. I'd like to tie you into the history of this tournament. I'd like to make sure people understand that you played an important role.
Thankfully, they don't have the box score up for that.
I'm looking. Patrick Hagerin across the line for the Germans, drops it back. Philip Gogol with a shot, and the save is made by Cam Talbot. We saw Bill Peters a moment ago, the native of Three Hills, Alberta, and there is Marco Sturm, once upon a time a first-round pick of the San Jose Sharks, and 4 of his players in this game today were also San Jose draft picks, including goaltender Timo Bielmeier, who was a third-round pick in 07. San Jose was one of the teams that really tried to mine Germany for good players, and Sturm was a very good one.
He told us before the tournament that he felt their team would be better, that they had access to some more of their roster this year. I think the players are energized by playing for a new coach in Sturm, a very popular guy.
Here they come now. Yannick Seidenberg busts in and backhands that wide. Taylor Hall banks it ahead and finds Corey Perry. In on Christian Ehrhoff, who knocks him down. Perry tries to get a shot away. Ehrhoff, another one of those San Jose drafts back in 2001. But disappointing results, Ray, the last couple of years for Germany. A clean house at the top level. As Marcel Gontz comes in, he hits Seidenberg in the back of that shot. It's picked up by Brad Marchand, who didn't play in the third period of Canada's last game against the Slovaks. Mark Scheifele, if you just joined us, is out with illness today. Canada back in action on Saturday night against Slovakia here at the World Championship. And is looking more and more like the Tuesday game against Finland will be the showdown for first place in Group B. Puck moves at the side of the goal for Marchand. Feeds it off for Matt Duchesne. And Duchesne back for Marchand. They play pitch and catch behind the goal. Duchesne gets loose. Goes between his legs, but lost the puck to Marcus King. Now gets it back. And Tobias Reeder drops it back and looks for the turn pass from Dominic Cahoon. German fans will sing and clap throughout the game. They've been great fans over the years. Now move back in front. That backhand shot by Hager. Steered away by Talbot. Back comes Mark Stone with Max Domi. Centering pass that's knocked away on a back check by Sinan Akdad. Hager up ahead for Schutz. Knocked away by Morgan Riley. In comes Domi again. Max Domi with a chance. Wrap around, try. Pielmeyer down. He turns away Domi.
Pretty good burst of speed for Max Domi. Domi and Sam Reinhart will probably play a little more today with Scheifele out of the lineup. They've been the two forwards that have, for the most part, been in a rotation on that fourth line.
Russia underway at this hour against Denmark in Moscow. Alexander Ovechkin, Evgeny Kuznetsov, and Dmitry Orlov just arrived from North America after Washington was knocked out. They're not in the lineup tonight. In Germany, got Thomas Greiss from the New York Islanders. He's just arrived. He's dressed as the backup today for the Germans.
He must be exhausted. Long season. Jump on the plane, get over here, try and get acclimatized to the time. A ball hat's probably a pretty good start for him tonight.
Brooks Masek shoots it in for the Germans. Masek, a native of Winnipeg, one of 4 naturalized Canadians on the German long list as Ryan Murray sends it ahead. Murray for Taylor Hall, walks in and shoots, scores! Taylor Hall fires it by Pielmeyer, and Hall has scored in every game for Canada. It's 1-0.
That just can't go in. If a team like Germany is going to hang with Canada, you have to have excellent goaltending. We saw it last night when Hungary stayed with Finland. Adam Vabe put on a terrific performance for the Hungarians. That game was scoreless in 36 minutes. Here's a wrist shot from outside the dot. It goes underneath the arm of Pielmeyer, and Hall scores again, and it's 1-0 Canada.
In his last 14 games of the World Championship break, Taylor Hall has 11 goals for Canada.
Ryan Murray with the quick up for the assist for Hall, and he gets out into the open ice. He separates easily and gets a shot on goal, but Timo Pielmeyer has to make that save.
Well, the Germans coming off their best game in a while at the World Championship, a 5-1 win over the Slovaks. They fell behind 1-0 in that game and then roared back to score 5 straight. And for the Germans, the goal is to get to the quarterfinals, finish in the top 4 in this group. And they've got a chance with games left against Belarus, the United States, and they close out against Hungary on Tuesday, or Monday rather. Here's Cody Ceci with it. Cody Ceci leads Canada in minutes played per game through 3 games. It's over 20 a game. As Ryan Murray brings it in, drops it off for Hall. The centering pass goes right down to Pielmeyer, steers that away. Pielmeyer, we mentioned the San Jose draft, come to 1 National Hockey League game. February 2011 in St. Louis, allowed 5 goals on 12 shots, got pulled after 2, and that's the last time he played in the NHL.
Probably not the way he dreamed it up.
Now playing for Ingolstadt in the German league. As McDavid comes across the line, feed for Duchesne. At Duchesne from a sharp angle, Pielmeyer makes a stop. Now Duchesne throws it back in front for Marchand. Can't get a shot away. Pushed ahead by Tobias Reeder for Patrick Reimer, who led the German league in goal scoring this year. Reimer scored 26 goals, also led the league in points. There's that long shot by Ehrhoff, goes wide. Corbinian Holzer steps up. He shoots. That's blocked by Chris Tanev, and that took a bite out of Tanev. As McDavid brings it back with Marchand. Steaming in is Connor McDavid. Ehrhoff got a stick on him to knock it away. Ehrhoff, one of the few guys out there who could keep up with McDavid.
Not many guys can keep up with him. When he gets out into full flight, it's just amazing how he seems to be able to separate from just about everybody.
And make his move at high speed, right?
It's one thing to go fast. A lot of players go fast without the puck. They get the puck, it's an anchor. And we saw when McDavid was at the World Junior Tournament how he just seems to, he explodes from people with the puck on his stick. And then makes the play that needs to be made.
Who's behind the goal, picking out his Mike Matheson, who scored in Canada's last 2 games. Maybe not the best known of the Canadian players. As the centering pass goes to Schutz. Gogol centers it. And Hager couldn't get a shot away. Now Schutz back on the other side with it. And Matheson, a first-round pick of the Florida Panthers, has moved up the ladder quickly since leaving college.
Played 3 regular season games, then 5 of the 6 games in the playoffs for the Panthers.
Dennis Royal for Hager, a sharp angle shot that was off a skate and wide that hit the skate of Marcel Nobles.
And then as Royal was turning around back towards the German net, he steamrolled Nobles, went right over top of him in front of the Canadian net.
Now a steal by Boone Jenner, throws it off Pielmeier's crowd. The puck bounces down, Draisaitl plays it across to Masek. Masek for Draisaitl. And Draisaitl goes hard into the inboard, the nasty collision there, but Draisaitl's up. Boone Jenner rinked wide for Ryan Murray off his skating down the ice. So in the German league, they can have as many as 11 foreigners on their roster. 9 can play in a game. Masek drops it back to Draisaitl. In comes Aktag with it. Aktag with room, walks in, shoots, save made by Talbot, loose puck, and Jenner clears it away to Gallagher. Ingolstadt, where Pielmeier plays, has 17 Canadian-born players on the roster. 11 are listed as foreigners, 6 are Canadians who have been there long enough to get a German passport. They don't count against the import quota. There's an icing call against the Germans, and the question is that a positive for German hockey or not?
Get a look at Taylor Hall's goalie. Freezes anchored. Right here, as you see anchored, stopped skating for a moment. Hall had a little bit of a shoulder drop, and he bought himself another couple of feet of room, and Taylor Hall's shot goes underneath the left arm of Timo Pielmeier.
Marcel Gotch lost the face-off to Brassard. Here's Corey Perry on it. Corey Perry pulls it back, knocks it just wide of the goal as defenseman Darryl Boyle from Sparwood, BC got his stick down. Canada with a 1-0 lead in the early going here in St. Petersburg.
В Москве проходит матч между командами России и Дании. По ходу первого периода Россия выигрывает со счетом 1-0. Current score of the game, Russia and Denmark. Russia leads 1-0.
Back in St. Petersburg, the Russians have taken an early lead on Denmark. Alexei Marchenko, 2.5 minutes into that game to give the Russians a 1-0 lead. Russians open with a shutout loss at home to the Czech Republic. Come back, and of course now reinforcements on the way for the Russians. Canada still has 2 open roster spots, but over the years, Ray, Canada has been hesitant to bring players over in mid-tournament. Sidney Crosby, an exception, of course, last year, who called Canada after the first-round loss. But at this point, they feel like their team is set. A couple of times they brought players in after the second round. They felt like it disrupted their team.
Well, the other part to it is that you have guys that have been at the pre-tournament games, been at the early camp, played all these games, and then they get put on the back seat because
That's a long shot kicked out by Pielmeier.
Nobody is flying over from Canada to play 3 games and then into the medal round if they're not pretty certain they're going to be in pretty good stead. They're going to play a lot. They're not coming here for a vacation.
And the difference, of course, is when a European team sends a player home,
he's home.
He's home. He's a couple hours away.
It's a tough one. I mean, the player wants basically a guarantee that he's going to play in most cases, and it's hard to do.
Hall centers it, turn over to Gotch. Marcel Gotch, with an injury-ravaged season this year for Mannheim. Played only 3 games this season. McDavid spins back, buys some time off the bench, drops it back for Dumba. The pass missed him. And Marchand on it. If you get a chance, go to tsn.ca and check out Darren Drager's interview with Brad Marchand and Brendan Gallagher. Quite forthright about what annoys them about each other. From 2 of the players who annoy everyone else, perhaps more than any other. Now a chance for Reimer. He hammered that wide. On the loose puck is Reeder for Cahoon. Elias Reeder spins and shoots. Talbot makes the stop and gathers that up. And the Germans put together a couple of good scoring chances.
Patrick Reimer is one of the shooters on this German team. As Reeder's shot goes through the screen, Talbot has to find it. He keeps it in front of him to make the save, but Reimer earlier one-times a shot from the slot just wide of the net. The Germans a couple of good shifts here, but for the poor goal on Pillmeyer, would be pretty happy with this first 9.5 minutes.
Germany's last medal at the World Championship, right, in 1953, a bronze. You think about all the teams that have won medals since then. I mean, Slovakia's won the gold in this tournament in the last 15 years.
You know, back to your point of all the imports playing, what in essence that does is make the Pro League better. But you would think if a young kid is thinking to play hockey or something else, he's going to really wonder about why am I playing if there's very few spots available to play in the domestic league, in our Pro League.
There's a couple of key Edmonton Oilers. Leon Draisaitl, 3rd overall in 2014. Connor McDavid, 2015. Draisaitl actually began the year in the American Hockey League, not because he didn't make the team, but because he didn't have cap room. So Draisaitl had a contract they could sit down until they sorted everyone through. The Oilers had some injuries in training camp, and until those players have reached the 10-game threshold, they can't be taken off the cap. Boone Jenner up for Brendan Gallagher. Gallagher drops it off to O'Reilly. Ryan O'Reilly with a sharp angle shot that goes wide. At the point is Dumba. So Draisaitl, for example, instead of playing in Germany, came to the Western Hockey League. There's Gallagher, a backhand try. He comes diving through the crease. And now Ben Hutton centers it. At the point is Dumba. Drops it off to O'Reilly. Ryan O'Reilly slaps it down, trying to find Gallagher. He's got it. Gallagher plays it back to Hutton. Hutton from a sharp angle shoots, and that's gloved by Pillmeyer.
We showed McDavid earlier how he attacks off the rush. This line with Jenner and Gallagher and O'Reilly's going to be more of a cycle line. Hold the puck, get a shot, funnel people to the net. There's a guy that's made a career out of being around the front of the net. Terrific hands, and I've always thought he's kind of sneaky big. He's bigger than he really looks on the ice. You know, when I'm working games between the benches, I'm always struck that he's just bigger than he appears. I always think of Ryan Getzlaf as a really big guy, which he is. But Corey Perry's 6'3" too.
He spent probably the first 5 or 6 years of his pro career being underestimated. A late first-round pick, despite being a prolific scorer in the Ontario Hockey League. People worried about his skating. Went on to become an NHL goal-scoring leader, and he's won just about everything there is to win in the game. Memorial Cup champion, World Junior champion, Stanley Cup champion. And he comes here seeking to become the 27th member of the Triple Gold Club, which goes to players who have won the Stanley Cup and Olympic gold medal in the World Championship. Seidenberg knocked down Taylor Hall at center ice with a solid hit. Yannick Seidenberg channeling his brother Dennis there. And Hall knocks it down for Brassard. Christian Ehrhoff picks it up. Ehrhoff feeds it ahead. That's knocked away. Ehrhoff split the year between LA and Chicago this year. The Buffalo Sabres will be paying him through 2028 after buying him out a couple of years ago. Just ahead by Marchand. You're still trying to get your head around that.
I just can't get it.
There's Ryan Murray with a long shot. Stopped by Pillmeyer. He'll juggle it. and hang on.
20-28. That is a buyout. At times, Taylor Hall gets himself stuck on the train tracks. Here, Seidenberg runs into him. Hall goes down. There's an element of getting the blinders up to Hall once in a while. He goes so fast, he pushes so hard, so straight ahead that he runs himself out of real estate once in a while.
Yannick Seidenberg, a smaller version of his brother Dennis, who's almost square. He's built so solidly. Yannick's 5'7", 185 pounds. Duchesne banks it back for Ceci. Cody Ceci with a wrist shot that goes off the skate of Reeder. Picked up now by Dennis Royal. Throws it down to the Canadian zone as Ceci goes back. Icing call against Germany. It's a goal or 7-3 in favor of Canada.
This is where the Germans will have trouble with Canada, is when Canada can get on the cycle, they can move them around. Their defense aren't going to be mobile enough to stay with the change of directions. And the Germans are, like most teams, I guess, you want to exit the zone as quickly as possible, but that's a real weak spot for the smaller nations, is when the bigger nations' depth starts cycling the puck, you just can't close down the offensive push.
Matheson lays it down. Mike Matheson made it a point. Claire Quebec feeds down to O'Reilly. Back for Dumba. He missed it. Now Matheson's got to race back as Tobias Reeder's busting in, but Talbot comes way out to play it. Around he goes to Matheson.
It's a play you'll never see at home.
Right.
Puck into the corner, goalie out to help out his defense.
Ryan O'Reilly gets the icing there as Gallagher picks up the loose puck for O'Reilly. It's bumped there by Hager. O'Reilly knocked down, trying to fish that free for Jenner. Now Schutz hands it back for Germany. Felix Schutz plays that rink wide. Matheson swatted that away neatly and finds Jenner. In comes Boone Jenner along with O'Reilly. Jenner drops it back. Tanev leans into that. Pielmeyer save rebound. O'Reilly couldn't get there, and Stone fished the rebound wide. And O'Reilly's got to get off the ice for a change as Schutz picked up the loose puck. Akdag up for Draisaitl, rink wide for Gogula. Lead pass goes to Masek, who chips it down. Cam Talbot plays it around for Morgan Riley. Max Domi skates away from Draisaitl, looks ahead for Stone, and Ehrhoff races to the loose puck. Corvinian Holzer up ahead for Draisaitl, drops it back to Masek. Sam Reinhart picks it off. Domi looking ahead. And Ehrhoff takes it away from Domi. Cody Ceci back on it. Cross he goes to Ryan Murray. Long lead pass finds Reinhart. And Sam Reinhart aligns there with Holzer. Ehrhoff being watched there by Domi. Spins back and plays it across for Holzer, who played for Anaheim this year in the National Hockey League. Depth defenseman for them. After being drafted by the Toronto Maple Leafs. Ehrhoff up for Gotch. Marcel Gotch pivots in front of Taylor Hall. Throws it rink wide for Marcus King. And King got poke checked there by Perry. Round it goes to Seidenberg. Being watched there by Murray. Seidenberg throws it back in the corner for King to Gotch. The German captain throws it back in front. Seidenberg skated by it. Hall's got it back for Canada. Derek Brassard up for Hall. Got bumped there by Ankert. And Gotch plays it around for King. Duchesne got hit on him quickly, but King spins away. Marcus King, who plays for Mannheim, got stymied there at the line as Gotch banks it off the glass and out. Matheson. And to Brad Marchand. Marchand buys some time with Canada changing. Drops it back to Matheson, trying to go behind the back. And Reimer plays it ahead for Rader. Rader throws it back in front. They score! Garrett Bowser, and this is going to be waved off, is it? One referee says no, the other says yes.
We're going to go right upstairs for this. This puck is dished across by Tobias Reeder, and this goes off the left foot of Bowser. Watch the left foot here.
So the referee right beside the goal immediately waved it off. The IIHF standard tighter than the NHL.
See, I think in the NHL this would I don't even know if that would count in the NHL. Look at his reaction. He doesn't think it's going to count. Watch Fowler. As soon as the puck goes into the net, watch his head. He doesn't think it's going to count.
Joseph Kivos from Slovakia is the referee in the penalty bench, talking to the video replay official and looking at the monitor himself. Fowler was a late add to the German roster. Missed their first game, played a couple years in Gatineau in the Quebec League, actually. Remember, these German players have North American experience.
In my opinion, just from his reaction, he didn't think that was going to count. He didn't get his hands up in the air. Mike Matheson tries to make a tricky play in the offensive zone. He turns the puck over. When this goes into the net, he doesn't raise his arms. Kind of gives it the old, oh yeah. Well, we'll find out.
I'm going to say no goal.
I'm agreeing with you.
I think there's just enough of a movement there.
See, I'm going to most times defer to what the player looks like.
Right.
And he just didn't buy it himself. The puck is going to go right through Matt Dumba's legs. It's pretty clear it's off the left foot. So whether it's directed into the net or not.
If the goal stands, it'll be the first allowed by Canada in over 116 minutes, going back to the first period of the game against Hungary.
Oof. Whatever they rule, you know, Gord, we work enough games together. I think it should count.
Yep.
I think if you don't throw it in the net, it should count. And in my rules, that would count. We're going to find out right now.
Kevich has completed the call, and now we'll get the decision. No goal.
There's no real grand reaction from the German bench to get the explanation here. Jeff Ward and Marco Sturm.
So the lesson, Ray, is if it goes in the net, sell it.
Oh, you betcha. Sell it way more than this. That, to me, right there told me it was no goal.
See, the referee right there said goal. It was the referee trailing who waved it off.
But if he thinks that's a goal, he's going to celebrate way more than that. So Canada gets a break on a turnover in the offensive zone and a disallowed goal. And 15 minutes in, lead 1-0 on a goal that probably shouldn't have gone in. Taylor Hall's wrister under Pielmeyer's glove.
Maxim Hudinov has scored for Russia to make it 2-0 against Denmark. Darryl Boyle, the native of Sparwood, BC, played it ahead but not out. Tanev knocked it down. Boyle playing in Munich this year, which won the German championship under head coach Don Jackson, the former Stanley Cup winner with Edmonton. And Boyle with a hard shot. He does love to shoot it. Knocked away by Talbot. Draisaitl feeds it back to Ehrhoff, another guy who can rip it. Ehrhoff's shot was off the stick of Gallagher and shattered it. Draisaitl works around the corner, sends it. Ehrhoff a chance, and he hammered that high. Ehrhoff can't believe he missed. He was all alone in front of the Canadian goal.
What a rink-side pass from Draisaitl to Ehrhoff.
Now Ehrhoff being watched by Murray. Who's behind the goal is shoots to Hager. Banked around to Ehrhoff, who throws it back in behind the Canadian goal. Brassard got a stick on it. The centering pass by Schutz. Knocked away by Ceci. Perry throws it ahead to Brassard, working in with Hall. And Ceci, who jumped in. Taylor Hall for Perry. Got to move that around Hager. At the line, Ceci steps up and throws it down to Brassard. Behind the goal is Hall, battling with Ehrhoff. Shoots back on it. Out to center ice, and Ryan Murray knocks it down. 3 to go here in the opening period. Shots are 8-3 Canada, 1-0 lead. Marcel Gott back to Christian Ehrhoff, slaps it back to center ice. The bouncing puck chipped ahead by McDavid, who finds Marchand. Marchand to Duchesne, who plays it around, and Morgan Riley steps up, trying to knock that away from Gott. At the point, McDavid holds it for Tanev. Long wrist shot, that goes just wide. King waiting for it, tied up by McDavid. Free for Duchesne, who throws it back for Tanev. It skipped over his stick. And Chris Tanev takes the return pass from Matt Duchesne across to Morgan Riley. West Vancouver native. Across he goes to Matheson. Mike Matheson. Skates on ahead for Reinhart. Sam Reinhart tries to center it. Domi can't reach it. Reimer has it back, and that pass disrupted by Matheson. In comes Cahoon across the line. Dominic Cahoon spins it back at the point. Finds Mueller. Royal a shot that goes wide. Here's Reimer back on it. Patrick Reimer centers it there for Reeder. Spins and shoots. Good save by Talbot. And he'll hang on to that. 1:50 to go here in the first period. Canada with a 1-0 lead.
В Москве продолжается матч между командами России и Дании. По ходу первого периода Россия выигрывает со счетом 3-0. Шайба на счету Алексея Марченко, Максима Чудинова и Никиты Зайцева.
Christian Ehrhoff, a glorious chance a moment ago. Gord Miller, Ray Ferraro here. Ray, we have uncovered the summary from 1996.
Oh,
You assisted on Canada's only goal.
it was a great play.
Travis Green scored in the power play. Paul Correa also an assist. You did not have a penalty in the game.
That's probably the biggest surprise.
Martin Brodeur was in net for Canada. And Joseph Heiss made 30 saves for Germany in their 5-1 win.
Marty Brodeur started out in goal for us and played the early games. Curtis Joseph took over after that, and what's really kind of crazy is Marty had trouble with the big ice. At that time, at that tournament, he had trouble with the angles or what have you. Curtis Joseph was brilliant. What was that for a goaltending duo? Brodeur and Joseph that we had in our goal.
Mueller shot blocked by Gallagher. That
Come to think of it, if I was on the power play with Paul Correa, why do I think I was not working the half wall?
how did Travis Green end up scoring the goal?
He was standing in front of the net.
So the mystery has been solved.
I've had a lot worse box scores in a 5-1 game than that, I'll tell you that. That line could have been ugly.
Plus minus was not kept in 1996 at the World Championship.
And I was even.
O'Reilly back across the Perry. Ryan O'Reilly back for it, and Schutz picks it up for Germany. Felix Schutz, who plays in Rogaland, the Swedish league. Across he goes to Sinan Akdag, drops it back to Hager. Final minute now, the opening period. Morgan Riley had it knocked away, picked up by Gogula. At the point he goes to Boyle with a quick shot and through the traffic. Cam Talbot had to make the stop there with bodies flying everywhere.
Felix Schutz went cartwheeling through the front of the net. Darryl Boyle, who can shoot the puck, gets rid of it in a hurry. He doesn't take a lot of time. A huge backswing there. It is just waist high. And you can see Schutz trying to deflect it. Talbot makes the stop.
By the way, Nikita Zaitsev has scored the Russians of a 3-0 lead on Denmark late in the first period in Moscow. At the point, Boyle shoots again, blocked by Marchand. That time Reeder fires, that's blocked by Riley. That staggered Morgan Riley. Back goes Tanev for it. Brings it around for Duchesne. Matt Duchesne. Back down the German zone. Boyle out in the center ice for Reimer. Chips it there. Fauser comes walking in. Garrett Fauser. Plays it behind the goal for Reeder to an open wing. Picked up there by Akdag. Final seconds now in the period. Here's Reeder on it. Centers it. Picked off by Murray. And the first period will end with Canada holding a 1-0 lead on the goal by Tanner Hall. And Germany having a goal disallowed later in the period. Shots on goal, 8-6 Canada, 1-0 after one. Stand by for our first intermission.
Счет после первого периода. Команда Канады 1, команда Германии 0. Shots on goal. In the first period, Team Germany 6, Team Canada 8. Броски по воротам в первом периоде. Команда Германии 6, команда Канады 8.
Taylor, I know starts were something your team wanted to focus on. You got the early goal. How do you think the first period went?
Not our best period, that's for sure. I think some areas defensively we can clean up, but we just have to get better as the game goes on.
You played much of the season with Leon Draisaitl on your line. Have you been able to keep in touch with him at all during the tournament? And what's it like to play against him?
Yeah, I had some dinner with him and Connor the other night. It's always fun to see a guy like that. He's been a lot of fun to play with this year, and he's a big part of their German team. So if we're going to win this game, it's because he's stopped.
Thanks, Taylor.
Thank you.
Something about the doping. Well, I guess we don't have anyone there to do it. But.
I was like, what's he doing? He's gonna do sign language. He's gonna draw.
Okay, Benny, I'm ready now.
He's gonna draw diagrams.
That's your way of saying I have nothing to say about Austin Matthews.
Let's knock this off.
Here we go.
Okay. Austin Matthews had 1 assist in the U.S.'s 1-0 win over France, but he was a huge factor in the game, right?
It was a really good one assist performance. Sometimes the stat line just doesn't tell the true story of the game. Matthews had the puck almost every time he was on the ice. From the early portion of the game, he was dangerous, whether setting up a play, carrying the puck, or having scoring chances himself. He didn't finish. He had a couple of good chances, as I mentioned, but his assist where he cycled the puck for almost 11 seconds by himself in the zone that led to Connor Murphy's goal was a thing of beauty. And when he flips the puck a little earlier to himself through the defense, kicks it with his foot and gets a scoring chance, there's not many players that can do that. He had an excellent afternoon in the 4-0 win.
And the story continues. The 18-year-old playing a starring role here at the World Championship.
Introducing the 2016 IIHF app. Player statistics. счастья. Наш лед. Наша скорость. Наша надежность. Наш характер. Наша поддержка. Наши победы. Это наша игра. Это наш хоккей. И этого у нас не отнять. Пинку страх. Официальный партнер чемпионата мира по хоккею 2016 года.
Aaron Fowler had a goal disallowed in that opening period for Germany, so a 1-0 score for Canada. Taylor Hall with the goal, his fourth in as many games. He scored in every game for Canada, coming off a 26-goal year. Third time he's scored 25 or more in a season. So, except for period number 2 with the team's uneven strength, there were no penalties called in that opening period. Earlier today, the United States beat France 4-0. That was a scoreless game in the second period when a couple of penalties went against the French, and they were displeased with the calls.
It should have been. The one that made it 1-0 on the power play was a rather iffy delay of game penalty where they ruled that the French defenseman knocked the net over, but he was knocked into the net by one of the Americans. It's a bad call.
Leon Draisaitl plays it ahead. We talked about the 1996 game where Germany beat Canada 5-1. Ray played in that game. Leon Draisaitl's dad, Peter, scored a goal, the 4th goal for the Germans in that game.
What are you saying? I'm getting old, I guess.
I'm just piling on here now. Riley shoots. Pielmeier makes the save, so you lost to Germany. Now you've been watching the guy who scored kid play in the game.
Canada scored early. Taylor Hall with the wrist shot that went under the arm of Pielmeier. There's the disallowed goal as Garrett Fowler went to the net. It went off his foot. He didn't really celebrate because he looked like he was unsure, but the call was made and waved off as the Germans could have hoped for a lucky break, didn't get it, and trail 1-0.
Russia with a 3-0 lead on Denmark after one. The shots 19-2 after the opening period. And a penalty coming down to Canada's Max Domi. Tripping is the call.
Domi in the middle of the ice. He's going to get his stick into the feet of Marcus Kink. Kink is trying to get to the point where the face-off had been won. So the German power play, which has a goal in all 3 games, has a chance to tie this up.
3 different goal scorers, or 3 for 15. Now Schutz will step in, 4 forwards, 1 defenseman on the power play. Boyle, the defenseman, can really rip it. And here's Boyle, number 7, with it. Sets it up for Reeder with a quick drive, and Talbot knocks that away. Felix Schutz in the corner. Plays it back for Tobias Reeder. Schutz lost the puck, knocked ahead by Jenner. Canada has 2 short-handed goals so far in the tournament. Ryan O'Reilly and Brad Marchand have scored. Schutz winds his way in, sends it rink wide for Gogola. Philip Gogola. Crisscrossing there with Schutz, with Hager standing in front. Now Reeder comes drifting in from the point and looking for that deflection on the shot pass from Felix Schutz. Now Ceci banks it back down the ice. And Pielmeier out to play it. Pielmeier, long lead pass. It's picked off by Ceci. He's brought down. It's going to be a penalty against Germany. As Hager will go off, Marchand works in, shoots, and that's tipped just high. And so the German power play is over after 55 seconds as Hager will go off for the hole.
Gord, I talk about this a lot. Goalies love to help. As we see the penalty there on the power play. The puck gets cleared down the ice as Marchand's shot goes over the net. They want to play the puck up the ice, but the Germans in this case are changing. And so they don't have 5 players on the ice, and they're skating back to the puck. He throws it up, there's nowhere to go with it. Gets intercepted, and while this penalty is on Patrick Hager, this one's on Pielmeier for playing the puck.
Now Stone in for the face-off. It's 4-on-4 for the next minute and 5 seconds, barring more penalties. McDavid got it there by Cahoon. And Holzer has it back for the Germans. Ahead to Reimer across the line with Cahoon. Reimer with a shot that goes off the foot of Tanev. Cahoon tied up there as Morgan Riley races to it, and Riley drops it back for Tanev. Tanev back for Riley. Up ahead for Mark Stone. A hard pass ahead for McDavid. That missed. And Holzer goes back to the icing call against the Canadians.
So power play a minute in is gone, and now just about 30 seconds of 4-on-4 left before Canada gets their first power play.
Here's Brooks Masek, the Winnipeg native. 6th round pick of Detroit back in 2010 after playing for 2 different Western Hockey League teams over 3 years. Tri-Cities and Calgary.
Had a big year as last year, 80 points.
Now McDavid comes busting in. McDavid throws it back across, has time, shovels it across for Stone. That misfired. And Masek drops it back for Draisaitl. Jumping in is Moritz Mueller. And the play is called offside at the Canadian line.
Leon Draisaitl set up Ehrhoff in the first period for maybe Germany's best chance. Ehrhoff missed it over top of the net.
Draisaitl was not made available by Edmonton for the 2015 World Junior Championship in Canada. And on the day the Germans were relegated from the tournament, Edmonton sent him back to junior. It was a real tough blow for the German team, and one they were very upset about at the time, as they watched Draisaitl play very little or not at all during the tournament. And they needed him badly, and then the Germans did not get promoted in this last year's Division II World Junior, so they're not back in the tournament next year in Canada.
First Canadian power play, 45 seconds long or so.
Ryan O'Reilly spins it around for Matt Duchesne. To Corey Perry at the point with O'Reilly standing in front. Perry works it back in the corner for Duchesne. Drops down as Brassard comes in. Brassard now parked in front of Ceci. Plays it across to O'Reilly. Winds and shoots. Pielmeyer save. Rebound loose in front for Perry. Can't get to it. And Nobles can't clear it out. O'Reilly to Duchesne. Backdoor pass for O'Reilly. That misfired as Nobles got a stick on him. Germans couldn't clear it out in the first try. Now Canada with chances as Duchesne has it. Plays it back to Ceci. Cody Ceci to Derek Brassard. In. Cross ice for Duchesne. Sends it back in front. They score. Corey Perry gets a piece of that. The Germans are arguing that went off his skate. But 3 seconds left in the power play.
They're going to check it. I think this goes off Perry's stick.
And if it stands, a 2-0 Canadian lead.
Nobles had a chance to clear this out of the zone. Didn't get it out, and then the puck never leaves the zone again. It's going to go to Matt Duchesne on the half wall on a nice feed across from Derek Brassard. Watch Perry, 24 in front. That's off his stick. That's a beautiful play. Duchesne to Perry, but this initial pass from Brassard opens everything up. Duchesne's got plenty of room. Perry opens up, and this goes off his stick into the net. It's 2-0 Canada. Beautiful play.
Third goal of the tournament for Corey Perry, who scored in 3 straight games. Now has a point in every game for Canada. And the day after, the Anaheim Ducks were knocked out in Game 7 by Nashville. Corey Perry accepted the call to come to the World Championship for a couple of reasons. Number one, he was not named to the preliminary roster for the World Cup. And number two, that chance to become the 27th member of the Triple Gold Club.
It's amazing how quickly these games can change here. Germany on the power play with a chance to tie it up at 1. They take a penalty in the neutral zone. Kills their power play. Canada scores on theirs.
And now Gallagher shoots off the skate of Ehrhoff. It goes. And Matheson brings it in. Matheson down to Jenner. Boone Jenner. Cut up by Holter, gives him a bump. And Marchand races to it. Ehrhoff brings him down. Marchand didn't like it. And busting ahead is Ehrhoff as Matheson goes back. Ahead for Gallagher. Germans are changing. Gallagher has room with Marchand. Gallagher drops it back. Jenner in, shoots, and a glove save made by Timo Pielmeyer.
Really nice quick up by Michael Matheson. He finds Gallagher and then to O'Reilly for the chance. Here's Corey Perry, and we talked earlier about him making a living in the front of the net. You see him facing the puck each time. He's facing it for Brassard there for the tip. Now spin here for the tip. Royal doesn't get there in time, or when he doesn't tie up Perry's stick. You see Perry saying, nice pass to Brassard. Brassard's play opened it up beautifully for Matt Duchesne, who is having another productive World Championship tournament. That's 6 points for Duchesne.
Fed ahead by Boyle, trying to find Reeder. And Taylor Hall has it back. Drops it back to McDavid. Hall and McDavid out there together along with Stone. Mark Stone drops it back for Tanev. In, shoots. That was blocked as Reimer sprawled in front of that. It's the 4th game of the tournament for the Germans, Ray, but we can already say that this German team has shown a lot more fight than what we saw last year.
Now there's backbone to this team. They haven't looked like they take a backward step. They had a big win for themselves against Slovakia in their last outing. Last year, they just looked like they folded, like there was no zip to them. And that was one of the things they wanted to change with the hiring of Marco Stern.
Stern will also be involved with their national junior program. And Ceci takes a bump there from Masek. And Broussard picks off that pass, and Derek Broussard swings back with it. Broussard, terrific playmaker for the New York Rangers, but also recorded his first 20-goal year this year, scoring 27 times.
Really, his most impressive production has been in the playoffs, where he has 44 points in 59 playoff games for the Rangers.
Including 18 goals and some big ones along the way from New York. There's Ceci with it. Cody Ceci of the Ottawa Senators moves in. Former captain of the Ottawa 67s for Sam Reinhart. That was knocked wide by Thorsten Ankert. Back on to Ceci. At the point is Dumba. Quick shot. He hammered that wide. O'Reilly on it now. Ryan O'Reilly. Trying to bank it back. Here's Dumba with it. And Matt Dumba. In behind the goal for Gallagher. Fauser gets to it. And Garrett Fauser brings it down and shut that right into his own pitch. And play is called. 13:28 to go in the second period. Canada leads 2-0. Fans split the difference in Germany and Canada. It's funny, walking into the building, some German broadcasters saw the Canadian players doing the soccer warm-up outside and quipped that if this was a soccer game, we'd have a really good chance. And yes, they would.
It's kind of funny to watch the guys warm up. There's an area outside. The weather's been great. That soccer warm-up over the last decade has caught on. Everybody does it. It came from the European guys first.
Yeah.
It's amazing how competitive those guys get when they're warming up.
And the way it works is you start in the circle, everyone starts, and if you make the ball go out of play, you're out. And you keep playing down to get the two guys. Sewer ball is the nickname.
We've seen guys get the ball stuck up in the air vent. They got to get a ladder. They got to.
Bolger shoots a long drive, stopped by Talbot. Of course, we've also seen players get hurt doing it. Sure. Mark Korbietsky was warming up that way for Ottawa. Caught his foot in the, I think it was a ventilation grate. Cut his leg.
A couple of guys have suffered high ankle sprains as they're. Just go stretch. It's way safer.
Remember having a soft drink and a donut before the game.
Ride the bike, loosen yourself up, get a stretch. I know it's not as much fun, but at least you could get to the ring.
But the Germans make a great point. I mean, soccer is so big in their country, and handball as well. An enormous sport in Europe and in Germany. There's a chance now for Hager, knocked down in front. As Gogolov plays it back at the point for Holzer. Shoots it behind the goal now for Germany. Felix shoots, drops it off for Ehrhoff. Sharp angle shot, gloved by Talbot, and he'll hang on.
Talbot's looked really confident and comfortable in this tournament. He started the first game and against the United States, stopped 24 of 25 shots, had a relatively easy game against Belarus where he stopped 12 or 13 of 13, and kind of an easy night for him. But even tonight, when he's had a couple of tough stops, he's been sharp. The puck hasn't bounced around on him.
And in Caledonia, Ontario, Talbot is playing for Hockey Canada for the first time in his career. Had that great year with the New York Rangers 2 years ago, a .926 save percentage, 5 shutouts when Henrik Lundqvist was injured. Hackdag pounds it off the inboards right in front. Reimer couldn't get to it as Morgan Riley got a stick on him. Reimer for Reeder. And that shot taken by Boyle goes off the leg of Hall and back down the ice. Hall racing to it. Hackdag had to hustle back and play it across to Boyle, the 29-year-old. Up ahead for Reimer. That pass knocked away by Perry. And Perry got tangled up with Reeder, and Perry is down at center ice. They tangled legs. Neither man saw the other coming. Perry is back to his feet in the play, but He's shaken up, and Corey Perry's going back to the Canadian bench.
And Tobias Rieder's doing the same at the German bench. Neither of them saw each other.
And Perry's going to the Canadian dressing room. Well, in the hallway, at least initially, and now making his way into the room.
Got a pretty good limp going as they close the curtain behind him.
Pass picked up by Fauser, and across the line he comes. And the play is called offside. No intent there, just two guys that didn't see each other.
Up at the top of your screen, right at the end, Rieder sees where Perry is coming. He tries to straighten up and get out of the way. That's directly in front of us. And hopefully Corey Perry's all right. It appears as Rieder is.
Down in the Canadian zone and played back ahead by Ceci. Draisaitl. And Corey Perry's making his way back to the bench now, so Team Canada, Anaheim, can breathe a sigh of relief as Perry's back on the bench. Oof. Joe Nieuwendyk tore his ACL playing at the World Championship years ago, and was back before knee surgery was as advanced as it is now, and it really set Nieuwendyk back for a couple of years. Draisaitl works his way in, and Jenner picks it up. Lead pass for Duchesne. And you're reminded, John Tavares got hurt at the Sochi Olympics. The Islanders were trying to make the playoffs without their best player for the balance of the season.
As much as it doesn't happen very often, there is the risk that's there, of course. And
the difference, of course, in the Olympic tournament is it's a mid-season. You think of PJ Axelsson getting hurt for Sweden in '06. Lost to the Boston Bruins for a month and a half, and I think they won 3 games with him out and missed the playoffs. As Talbot loves that long shoot in. Perry stretching it out.
Yeah, hopefully looks more like a Charlie horse than anything else. And gives it a little test, and seems to be fine. He's going to stay on the bench, which is great news. He's not sitting down, which finally sitting down now, but when a guy's standing up and keeping moving, that's more Charlie horse in most cases than anything else.
Ehrhoff falls at line, but for a great skater, Ehrhoff's been on roller skates a couple of times in the tournament. He fell 3 times in the first period of Germany's first game.
It's like he had somebody else's skates on. I mean, he's a really good skater. He was on his backside most of the period.
Hager sings a drink line for Gogula. Makes the extra move, drops it back for Holzer, in, shoots, Talbot makes the save, fights that off as Hager is on the loose puck. Past the midway point now, the second period. Shoots at the line. Felix shoots, plays it across, looking for Akdad. Banks it around for Gogula. Centers it, Hager had that knocked away by Tanev. And Domi sends it back down to the German zone. Kielmeyer banks it in for Gogula. Murray plays it across for Hall. A little back pass there, picked off by Reimer at center ice. Gogula throws it down to the Canadian zone as Murray goes back for it. Shots are 4-3 Canada here in the second period. Ceci fires it down. Brassard, first man there for Canada. Plays it around for Perry. Corey Perry lifts it down to Brassard. That's picked off by Boyle. A little for Rieder, so both Rieder and Boyle are back out there. And Reimer gets bumped by Ceci. Perry back for it. Almost fanned that pass, and now Hall on it. Picked off by Cahoon. Back in front, Reimer scores! Patrick Reimer zips it home, and Germany has called win one. He's
spoke earlier how Reimer can really shoot the puck. It's his second goal of the tournament. He scored 26 goals in 52 games in the DEL, the German Elite League this year. Perry's going to whiff on the puck here, and that keeps the play alive. Ryan Murray can't get it past Taylor Hall, and then Perry's going to get pushed off the puck. Oh, nice play by Nobles. He kicks it over to Patrick Reimer. Perry's leaning on the puck, but Nobles gets inside of him. A kicked pass turns out perfect, and Reimer makes it 2-1.
First goal out by Canada in over 131 minutes since the game against Hungary. And Germany's back within one. And now the shots are even at 4 in the period. McDavid winds his way in. Connor McDavid drops to the trailer. 10 of a shot that goes off the stick of Basic and wide. And Draisaitl's back for Germany. Draisaitl ahead for Torsten Anker. In the glove it goes of Talbot, and he'll hang on. Germany has given Canada some scares over the years. Think back to the Albertville Olympics in 1992 when Germany took Canada to a shootout. Sean Burke, the goaltender, was telling us the story the other day that his dad was so nervous in the shootout, he went to the parking lot, he couldn't watch.
Perry thinks the puck is coming to him. He doesn't quite see Nobles there. Nobles gets inside of him. Jeff Ward, the New Jersey assistant coach who works for the Germans as well, gives Reimer a fist bump as Nobles' pass is kicked over to Patrick Reimer, who makes it 2-1.
Crease violation against Marcel Gotch. 2-1 Canada leads here in the second. Patrick Reimer, the 32-year-old who stars for Nuremberg in the German league, plays there with the likes of Steven Reinprecht and Danny Heatley. Has the goal for Germany, his second of this tournament, by the way, in Moscow. Yannick Hansen and Sergei Mosyakin have exchanged goals. It's 4-1, the Russians ahead. There is Jeff Ward, longtime NHL assistant, former head coach in Kitchener in the Ontario League, and a longtime head coach in the German league as well. Marco Sturm relies heavily upon him for his experience, as Sturm is in his first year behind a bench of any kind. Look for player development a little bit for the Florida Panthers. Now Seidenberg again, that was blocked by Dumba. Gallagher trying to play it out. He was taken down, and Domi has it back. Max Domi flips that high in the air. O'Reilly gets there to negate the icing. And tangles with Seidenberg. Bolger bumped there by Domi. Matheson steps up, plays it down to O'Reilly. Worked free by Domi to O'Reilly. At the line, Matheson a long drive. That went just wide on the deflection. And Gotch has it back for the Germans. Gallagher chops it down for Domi. And Domi gave Seidenberg a whack. Gotch, rink line to Holzer. Ehrhoff. To Holzer. Ehrhoff back with it. Christian Ehrhoff. Long shooting off the end boards to shoots. Felix shoots. Brings it around, but Dumba gets there first for Canada as Germany's changing. Dumba for Marchand. Lead pass to Perry. In comes Corey Perry, taken down by Hager. And Perry takes a bump in the corner to Marchand. He was questionable for this game after not playing in the third period against Belarus. Mark Scheifele is out for Canada with an illness. Not sure how long he'll be out. Kicked back and by Gogol and knocked away by Ceci. And Brassard lifts it high in the air. Glove down by Boyle. Waits for teammates to get onside. Drops for Hager, works in. Hager walks in. Backhand shot, dribbles down. Talbot knocks that away. At the line is Akdag. Off the top, Gogol shot. That goes just wide. Picked out by Schutz. Furious pressure by Germany now. That pass knocked away by Marchand. Akdag plays it back for Gogol. He lost it. Brassard taken down. Penalty coming to Germany. Gogol's going to get it for interference on Brassard, and Canada will get a power play with 6:06 to go in the second period.
Germany was some really good pressure, and a bobbled puck puts Gogol in a bad position. Derek Brassard's going to jump past him. Gogol interferes with him there. So Canada, which has had one power play opportunity and Corey Perry scored on it, gets their second here in this period.
McDavid, Hall, Gallagher up front, Stone and Dumba on the back end of this Canadian power play.
Team Germany.
Stone drops it back.
Team Gogol. 2 minutes penalty for interference.
And Mark Stone knocks it down, plays it across for Dumba with time, shoots, save made by Puhlmeier, and Gallagher couldn't quite get to the rebound. Dumba plays it down for Hall, knocked away by Nobles and sent down the ice. Dumba. James center ice, drops it back for McDavid in full stride. McDavid throws it ahead for Stone. Stone back at the line for Dumba. Dumba down to McDavid, has room, walks in, shoots, and that was blocked by Holzer. McDavid back on it, at the point for Dumba. Slides it back to McDavid. Trying to feather that pass through to Dumba, now finds him. Dumba to McDavid, with Hall standing in front. Taylor Hall taps it back in front. Gallagher threw that wide. Stone back on it, to the point for Dumba. Dumba to McDavid. Walks in, rink-wide pass that was ticked away at the last second by Seidenberg. Stone. Crisscrossing with Hall in the corner. Hall throws it back to Gallagher, to Dumba. 45 seconds to go in the power play. In comes Stone. Plays it across to McDavid. Back to Stone. Can't pull the trigger to Dumba. Dumba to McDavid. The goal line. Hall tries to feed it across. Moved up by Mueller and back down the ice. And Canada will change as the O'Reilly group comes on. Brassard, Duchesne, and now Perry as well. Matt Dumba moves away from Bowser, drops it back to O'Reilly. Perry lost the puck to Hager, who sends it back down the ice. 10 seconds to go in the Canadian power play. Ceci back for it. And Ceci has some room. Up ahead for Ryan Murray. Throws it back in for Ceci. The two defensemen lead the rush for Canada. Now Gogol steps out. Talbot's got to come out and play it. Up for Perry. Through the middle for Ceci, that's broken up by Cahoon. Under 4 to go now in the second period. Canada with a 2-1 lead. Murray plays it around for Perry. Out to center ice for Jenner, that was knocked away by Anchor. And a bouncing puck batted down the ice by Duchesne. Tobias Reeder. 14 goals this year for the Arizona Coyotes. Once a 4th round pick of the Edmonton Oilers. Fired down. There's an icing call against the Germans. 3:23 to go in the period.
Certainly a critical kill for Germany as they've closed the game to 2-1. Gallagher's chance is queued up over the net as McDavid and Hall combined to set up the Montreal forward. Look at that little pass from McDavid. Just an inch or two over Holzer's stick, not too much air, so it takes too much time.
Canada had one shot on goal in that power play. Reinhart knocked down, plays it back for Riley, bobbled at the line, can't hang on, and Reimer's all over him. Fed ahead for Jenner. The late offside indicated as Canada has to tag up. First an Anchor. Plays for Cologne in the German league. Cologne will co-host next year's World Championship with Paris. On Pool B. The medal rounds in Cologne. In comes Reinhart for it. Pops it back to Marchand. For Ceci, a rolling puck, fires, it goes just wide. Jenner tried to throw it back in front, it bounces down to Felix Schutz. And Schutz plays it rink wide. In comes Gogol. Murray got a stick on him, but Gogol hands it back. Schutz is alone in front. Here comes Akdag. In, Schutz scores!
What a shot.
Sinon Akdag. Fires it home and ties this game at 2.
The defenseman had 7 goals in the German Elite League. This is his first in the tournament. After the puck is cleared out of the zone here by Schutz, Murray can't play it very aggressively as it's bouncing away. Gogula stays with the puck and makes a terrific pass. Schutz goes to the front of the net and Talbot has no idea where the puck is. As his Agdad looks up, Talbot sliding to his right. The shot's perfect and Germany has tied the game at 2.
2:24 to play in the second period. Lead pass now to Domi. Max Domi in. Trying to bank it there for McDavid.
Assisted by number
to McDavid.
87, Philippe Gogula, and number 55.
And riding a 13-game winning streak back to last year's World Championship. The Canadians posted a perfect 10-0 record. Murray throws it down, and Spielmeyer makes that stop and hangs on inside 2 to go in the second.
What a terrific play by Philip Gogula. Gogula has 5 points now, a goal and 4 assists. A second-round pick by Buffalo back in 2005. He's in his 11th year as a 28-year-old.
It's amazing.
In the German Elite League.
There's a number of players like that that haven't been to North America who made their German debut at 18. They're 28, 29 now, played a dozen years of pro hockey in their domestic league.
But that's one of the problems that you've spoken about earlier is they get into this 17, 18-year-old year and they go play in the German Elite League. There's so many imports, they don't get any ice time. They struggle for development, but...
Marchand picks it out for Dumba. Dumba's long wrist shot tipped there by Perry, just wide. Marchand back on it. Looks down for Brassard, tied up by Holzer.
It looks like Bill Peters has flipped Marchand and Hall here. Marchand with Brassard and Perry now.
Gotch falls in front of Matheson, but he lost the puck, poked ahead to Gotch. And Dumbo settles down a rolling puck for Canada.
That would put Hall with McDavid when they get back on the ice.
Brassard to Dumba, head to Marchand, he missed it. Icing waved off as Spielmeyer goes back. Christian Ehrhoff throws that pass long for Kink, who chips it down to the Canadian zone. Rolling puck for Tanev, ahead for Gallagher, and Tanev got slammed down there by Hager. Tanev back with it.
1 minute left in the second
Haven't seen a lot of Ben Hutton in this game.
The
extra defenseman for Canada. Mueller for Hager, as Schutz with him. Hager sends it down with less than a minute to go here in the second period. Schutz tied up by Ceci. O'Reilly digging for it. And Morgan Riley picks up the loose puck. Gains center ice, tries to play that across, missed Domi with it. Royal goes back. Squeezed that by Gallagher. Now Ceci steps up. Cody Ceci. Down to Gallagher. Centering pad. Oh, what a save by Spielmeyer in tight on McDavid.
Key save by Spielmeyer here at the end of the period, but a beautiful play from Gallagher to McDavid.
And now McDavid racing to it with Mueller. McDavid poked it free, but Royal waiting for it. Up ahead for Reimer, who was one of the German goals. Now banked back down to the German zone in the final seconds. And that's going to be an icing call against the Canadians with 1.6 seconds remaining in the period.
Look at that pass from Gallagher, crisply across to McDavid. Spielmeyer slides to his right to make the stop. You know, Gord, no matter how this third period turns out, this is good for Canada. They've been meandering along in this tournament, kind of having their way, and it's pretty easy at times for them. This is a challenge for them, and you've got to kick up your intensity somewhere in the tournament, and might as well be halfway through the round robin.
Still have the Slovaks on Saturday, France on Monday, and then the big game, it would appear, against Finland on Tuesday to close out the round robin.
Pretty clear they're in for a fight here in period 3.
So a 2-0 lead, but then Germany comes back with a pair in the second half of the period, 2-2, as we go to the second intermission.
Canada 2, Germania 2. Shoots on goal in the second period. Team Germany 6, Team Canada 7. Броски по воротам Во втором периоде команда Канады 7, команда Германии 6.
Right.
Good, bud.
Good. Okay. Well, Ryan, Germany with 2 on the board and 1 called back. You haven't given up this much all tournament. What's happening defensively?
I think we lack communication right now. I think we know we're not playing the game we want to play right now, and things aren't going as well. Our legs aren't there, but we're going to be all right. We just bring it back to simple things: communicate, supporting each other. We'll eventually wear these guys down, and we'll get the breaks we need.
You haven't really faced any adversity to this point in the tournament, and really through much of last year's, it was the same thing. Can this be a bit of an opportunity?
Absolutely. This is a big moment for us right now. We have to really rally together and find a way to get this done. It's they're playing a good game over there, and we have to find a way to out-battle them and find a way to win.
Thanks, Ryan.
Anytime.
Ты с уверенностью встречаешь любые испытания. А как насчет твоего лица? Новый крем для лица Nivea Men создан специально для мужчин. Он эффективно увлажняет кожу и защищает ее от сухости. Новый мужской крем. совершенствоваться. С какой бы проблемой ни столкнулся ваш бизнес, у нас всегда найдется надежное решение. Все Все о спорте. Здесь и сейчас. Новости. Видео. Попади в точку. Чемпионат.ком. Чемпионат. Главное слово в спорте. Он всегда скрыт от взглядов. Его хватка не вызывает сомнений. Именно на нем все держится. И когда нужен результат, его обеспечит Церезит. За надежную хватку отвечает плиточный клей, а затирка за безупречный внешний вид. За результатом стоит Церезит. Качество для профессионалов.
Это больше, чем спортивная форма. Это знак почета, символ гордости. И когда они надевают его, они не просто игроки, они атланты, несущие на плечах свою страну, храбро сражаясь против лучших в мире. Имя на спине вам ничего не скажет. Главное – это герб на груди. Самые яркие звезды хоккея съедутся в Торонто, чтобы выяснить, чья сборная сильнее. Кубок мира по хоккею 2016. Билеты уже в продаже.
like, amazing, eh?
Bingo has been called. Here comes the Canadians. They come racing out for the third period, Gordon. Look at them racing out. The Germans, they're not racing out either.
I'm leaving now. You got it, bud. Show me face.
I think I can. Oh, there's the cat.
Nice. How was he then?
Gosh, I don't know. He was sure a nice man, boy. When I was in Hartford, I really liked him. Oh, Euro begins on June 10th? I guess my summer watching has been ordered. Bing, bing, bing. I wonder what team the kids are going to cheer for this year. Who gets off to a quick start?
Whoever's winning it.
Yeah. They're discriminating viewers.
Remember when Greece won that? That's still like, that's unbelievable.
The Greek community went wild in Vancouver. I'm sure in Toronto, right?
So yeah, like unreal. Like they tied up traffic for like a day. I believe, I don't know if it's still true, but Toronto had the largest Greek population outside. Day 7 of the 2016 World Hockey Championship. We're in St. Petersburg, where Germany and Canada are tied at 2 after 40 minutes of play. Germans have only beaten Canada once in World Championship play. That was in 1996 in Austria. But Leon Draisaitl and company have given Canada all they can handle here through 40 minutes.
Talked just at the end of the second period that Bill Peters had flipped his lines around a little bit. Brad Marchand and Taylor Hall flopping position, so Hall, McDavid, and Matt Duchene together to start period 3.
Teams begin this period 5-on-5. Germany's had one power play. It was abbreviated. They took a penalty in the middle of it. And Taylor Hall has it. Don't forget, Germany had a goal disallowed in this game in the first period. Chris Tanev with it. Up ahead for Matt Duchene. That pass picked up at center ice and fired back in by Akdag, who scored the tying goal for the Germans. Morgan Riley up for Tanev. Finds Duchene. McDavid streaking in. Here comes Connor McDavid with it. Works it back in front. He's taken down as he goes sliding into Pielmeyer. And this might be McDavid. McDavid's getting a penalty. Here comes Germany. Reimer works in, drops it back. Fouls are in, shoots. He hammered it wide. McDavid arguing as he makes his way up the ice now, but they're going to call him for goalie interference, and Germany will get a power play less than a minute into the third period.
David cannot believe he's going to the penalty box. He's going to drive from right around the goal line, and he slips as he and Ehrhoff are fighting for position. McDavid trying to drive across the front of the net. Ehrhoff trying to force him behind the net. They call goalie interference. And Germany on the power play.
Team Canada, number 97.
Schultz wins the draw for Boyle. Back to Akdag. Diagonal pass for Hager. Had some room there. Couldn't pull the trigger. And now Schultz back with it for Gogula. Philip Gogula. Across to Hager. Down to Gogula. Shoots in the high slot. Akdag came drifting in. Now Gogula sets it up. Takes a return pass from Schultz. Back for Boyle. Fires. And the save made by Talbot as he bounces out to the corner. Scooped up and sent down the ice by Boone Jenner. Marchand comes on to kill the penalty for Canada. It's a late change by the Canadians. Schultz comes in. Works it down the corner. Back for Gogula. Boyle shoots. He just missed wide. Reimer back with it. Tanev picks it up. Been tied up by Hager. And now O'Reilly rings it around and sends it down. Marchand will go off a minute to go in this German power play. Christian Ehrhoff. 3 times a double-digit goal scorer in the NHL. So lethal in the power play in Vancouver and San Jose. Here's Reimer with it. Patrick Reimer had the takeaway by Tanev. Now played back to the line and held by Ehrhoff. Throws it back in the corner. Riley hacks it ahead for Gallagher. He's away along with O'Reilly. And Gallagher falls, so O'Reilly tries to play it ahead. The puck loose at center ice, and O'Reilly bats it back for Ryan Murray. The clearing attempt goes off the stick of Draisaitl and out, and Reimer has it back. In comes Reimer. Drops it back to Cahoon for Ehrhoff. Down to Cahoon. Final seconds now, the McDavid penalty. Murray rings it around. McDavid steps out. That pass was just out of his reach. And McDavid will go off as Ehrhoff has it back. One shot on goal for Germany on that power play. And now the Germans are called for icing.
Canada got on the board first. Taylor Hall's shot beat Pielmeyer. There was the disallowed goal, and then on the power play in the second, Corey Perry made it 2-0. Reimer made it 2-1, and then Akdad, off a beautiful Gogula feed, tied it at 2, and that's where we sit 3 minutes into period 3.
McDavid with a face-off against Draisaitl, the 2 Edmonton Oilers teammates. And McDavid wins the draw for Hall. Hall back to Matheson. Quick shot. Pielmeyer save. McDavid sends it back in front. Hall scores! It's McDavid to Hall, and it's 3-2 Canada.
You mentioned the 2 Oilers, McDavid and Draisaitl taking the draw. The draw was tied. A third Oiler, Hall, gets to the loose puck. Eventually it comes to Mike Matheson. His shot is a good one from the point. There's Hall jumping on the loose puck. He's going to go across to Matheson and then get to the slot. Look at the look from McDavid. Through the traffic, he goes behind Matt Duchene. Right on the tape, Taylor Hall's got 2. A gorgeous feed from McDavid, and Bill Peters' adjustment of moving Hall to McDavid's flank pays off, and Canada has a 3-2 lead.
And now Taylor Hall has tied Gustav Nyquist of Sweden for the tournament goal scoring lead with his 5th. So Canada back on top. Matheson has it. And Matt Dumba up ahead for Duchene. So Connor McDavid went with Taylor Hall. Duchene stays on the other wing. And Hall has it back now to McDavid. Connor McDavid to the line to Matheson. Long shot goes off the leg of Seidenberg into the corner. Talking to some of the German Federation officials, Ray, before this tournament. Of course, Germany will be lumped in, like a lot of other countries of Europe, in Team Europe for the World Cup. But that tournament and training camp will come days after Olympic qualifying. The concern for the Germans is that some of their players might have to choose between Olympic qualifying and the World Cup. That's a lot to ask of a guy to play qualifying and the World Cup before the NHL season even begins. And they're not alone in that. Nope. Slovenia would be asking for Andrej Kopitar to play in both. Stone centers for Brassard, knocked away from him. Mark Stone back with it to the point to Morgan Riley. Crossy goes for Tanev, diagonal pass for Brassard, drops it back for Riley. Morgan Riley down for Tanev, back to Riley. Lots of traffic. Riley shoots off the leg of Shoots and wide. You're waiting for Shoots, aren't you?
Oh, absolutely.
Here he comes off his stick and down the ice. And he missed it. They'll call a nicing call, and Taylor Hall having another great night at the World Championship.
Early in the game, he takes the pass from Ryan Murray and then beats Timo Pielmeyer to make it 1-0. And then he gets himself to the slot. Remember, Hall started that play on the half wall. It went back to Matheson on his pass. He doesn't wait on the wall. He comes back to between the hash marks where the real danger is, and Connor McDavid finds him and makes it a 3-2 Canada lead.
O'Reilly wins the draw back. Corey Perry with a quick backhand shot, turned away by Pielmeyer. Corey Perry with a lethal backhand shot in tight. Lead pass by Murray, misses Marchand. That'll be an icing call against Team Canada.
Gord, it'll be interesting to see, as you were talking about the qualifying and then the World Cup, what the players view as the priority.
Well, especially since you don't know if NHL players are going to the Olympics.
And remember, at the bottom line of it all is money. The World Cup is about hockey-related revenue. And so if you're not sure that you're going to the Olympics and you're going to raise hockey-related revenue by playing in that tournament, which basically comes back to you, which means less escrow that you pay, it becomes a conflict in a hurry.
That's for the players. At the federation level, the idea of Slovaks, Swiss, and Germans of an international tournament that involves two teams that aren't countries is bewildering.
Right, and the federation is the players.
Right. So
otherwise, the old guys can go play.
Right. So it's frustrating in some respects.
It's complicated. It is. There's certainly the conflict or the debate about the Olympics and what the NHL gets from it, and certainly complicated by the location
of the next two. Although the second one is in the most populous country in the world. Unless they discover life on another planet, it's the last untapped hockey market out there. And Pielmeyer hangs on to that. And talking to some other officials here before the tournament, Ray, the real feeling is that they're more pessimistic than ever that NHL players will go to future Olympic Games.
There's just so much into it. It's not just the players playing. Again, it comes right back to what you get from it, which is exposure, which in turn becomes revenue. You know, the Olympics don't allow the video to be shown outside of a year. So there's a generation of kids that have heard about Sidney Crosby's golden goal.
Never seen it. McDavid ahead to Hall. In he comes. Pielmeyer makes the stop and gathers up the rebound. Hall almost had a hat trick goal.
As you said, and never seen it.
And, you know, Jamie Benn scored a huge goal for Canada in Sochi in 2014. It's never been shown in Dallas.
What a pass from McDavid. Hall and McDavid click together here again. Hall gets to Akdag, puts a little pressure on him. The pass is miscued, and then McDavid a little pitch through to Taylor Hall, and Pielmeyer stays with it to make the stop.
Canada's only shot of the period officially has been the Hall goal. 14:22 to go in the third. Marcel Gage will flip that ahead. Hall took it away, and Duchesne has it back for Dumba. McDavid, Duchesne, and Hall, three guys who can fly out there together. Knocked down by Gage and brought back by Marcel Gage for Seidenberg. Works across the top. Seidenberg shoots. Talbot save. Knocked to the corner. Gage back on it. And Hall steps in front of Seidenberg. But Kink takes it back for the Germans. Spins away from Hall. Now Hall's lost his stick. Centering pass goes to Kink. And Duchesne steals it away. He's got Hall streaking ahead. Hall fell. Duchesne works in as Canada changes. And Duchesne's all alone now. Works in and shoots. And Pielmeyer makes the stop. Derek Brassard. Lost the puck there to Akdag. And Brassard brings it back with Jenner. A sharp angle shot was off the stick of Boyle. Up and out of play. Canada leads 3-2 here in the third period in St. Petersburg. It's 9-1, Russia leading Denmark in the third period in Moscow. 3-2 here. Bill Peters' Canadian team. We're talking about the World Cup. Bill Peters will be an assistant coach to Mike Babcock. On the Canadian team, Peters is an assistant to Babcock for 3 years with the Detroit Red Wings. They go back a lot further than that to the Spokane Chiefs of the Western Hockey League.
Back to the University of Lethbridge.
Yeah.
A step further.
Yeah. Who knew the Lethbridge Pronghorns were the cradle of NHL coaching? Boone Jenner down to Derek Brassard. Morgan Riley, a long shot, tip score! Boone Jenner got the first piece. Did Stone touch it as well? It's 4-2 Canada.
I said at the tail end of the second period that this is probably good for Canada to be pushed here by Germany. Now they have to kick up their intensity. They killed off the German power play at the start of the period, and now 2 goals by Hall, and I believe this is going to be Mark Stone at the end of this. Good cycle work. Morgan Riley moves along the blue line. That's tipped by Jenner in the slot on the initial shot.
Yeah.
And it looks like it went off a Stone as well. Get a better look perhaps here. There's the first tip. Yep, there's the second one.
Look at those hands. Oh.
For those of you that don't watch the Ottawa Senators a lot, he does that a lot.
Anchored fans on the pass. Dumba trying to poke it ahead, now picked up by Schutz. So Canada leads by 2 for the second time, and Talbot gloves that. And he'll hang on.
We're giving it to Boone Jenner first here. Maybe this is the better luck here, we'll see. There's the tip from Jenner. That definitely hits something, but tough to tell if it's holes or stick from our look or whether it's Stone.
By the way, getting scoring changed.
Oh, good luck. They don't exactly zip that along either in international hockey.
And once it's in the book, very hard to get it out. Matheson swings it across for Dumba. Away comes Matheson across the line. Long shot, knocked away by Pielmeyer, goes up and out of play. So McDavid draws the assist on the Hall goal. Jenner's goal right now is this is being from Riley.
And after a claw back into the game at 2-2, now Marco Sturm finds his team down by a pair. 7.5 minutes into the third period.
But Ray, we've already talked about this, that this team is taking on the character of German teams we've seen in the past. Germany always a hard out in international hockey.
They have been for years. This has been a pretty soft era for them, if you will. Marco Sturm was talking to us earlier before the tournament. He said he wanted to play more of an up-tempo game. He wanted his team to attack. Their posture has been to defend and kind of try to hang around and counterattack. He wants them to get up into the play, and that goes against how they've been playing for a while. So you have to change habits, and it takes time.
Canada went 10-0 last year in Prague. McDavid picks up the puck, and McDavid's going to get his second penalty, I believe, of the period for a cross-check, and the Germans are going back to the power play.
That noted ruffian Connor McDavid now picked up a couple of minors. I don't know about that one either. Looks like a cross push. Canada killed off his first one with no real danger. Cam Talbot made one stop on the power play.
Back at the point, Reimer bangs it down to Masick. And in the corner is Cahoon. Across he goes for Draisaitl. At the point is Ehrhoff. In the corner, Cahoon. Back for Draisaitl. Trying to find a seam. Cahoon throws it back door. And Ehrhoff chops that down at the line to keep it alive. Ehrhoff flips it back across to Draisaitl. Leon Draisaitl down to Cahoon. Draisaitl centers it. Talbot got a piece of that. And Riley backhands it to the line, but not out as Ehrhoff held it again. Reimer back to Ehrhoff. Has time, winds, and shoots. A bullet shot goes wide. Draisaitl skated by the loose puck. He had a wide open net. Cahoon At the line for Earhart. Winds and fires again. Tip. Oh, what a save by Talbot. Now Mason shoots. Great save by Talbot again. And the rebound flipped down the ice by O'Reilly. Two great stops in tight by Cam Talbot. Under a minute to go on the power play now. Akdag drops it back for Shoots. Felix shoots in, drops for Akdag. Down low to Shoots. Gogula shoots, back to Boyle, in, shoots. And the save made, actually might have been blocked in front, and Marchand has it back shorthanded. Brad Marchand, who has a shorthanded goal in the tournament already, gets tied up and tries to play it in deep. Akdag, rink wide to Boyle. 25 seconds to go on the power play. Boyle drops, shoots, centers it, it's ticked away by Cece. Akdag with it, in the corner for Gogula. At the line, Akdag. To Hager. Shoots. Flips it across. Boyle swings it rink wide to Akdag. Centering pass, kicked away by Marchand. McDavid steps up. Shot taken by Boyle. Cam Talbot got just a piece of that. What a chance for Draisaitl.
Germany ends up moving the puck around pretty decently here. The shot is wide of the net, and it skips over top of Leon Draisaitl's stick. And that shot hit Tanev and Draisaitl in front of the net. And then Talbot has to make a really quick blocker arm save on Brooks Mason.
Gotcha with a face-off against Brassard. Face-off controlled by Germany, but Mueller can't hold the line as Domi was bearing down on him. Mueller lost the puck to Domi. Brassard shoots it ahead, and Max Domi hunts it down. Domi glides with Mueller. Brassard trying to work it free, and Gotch picks it out. At the line, held by Dumba. Long shot that was blocked by Gotch. And Royal has the loose puck. Knocked down by Perry and fired back down to the German zone. 9.5 to go in the third period. Russia running away from Denmark with a 9-1 lead. Riley with it. Top two teams in this group will stay here in St. Petersburg for the quarterfinal matches unless they play the Russians. The Russians play all their middle round games in Moscow. McDavid for Tanev. Works it, sends it rink wide for Hall. That bounced away from him. Hall shovels it back for Riley. Morgan Riley off the end boards, trying to bounce it there to Stone. Tanev steps up. Looks around for Stone to Hall. And Ehrhoff stepped in front of him. Christian Ehrhoff got tangled up. Moves away from Hall. Ehrhoff throws it ahead, rink wide for Reimer. Riley stepped up on him. And Fauser taps it back for Reimer. Tanev back with it. Canada back in action on Saturday night against Slovakia. We'll have it for you at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific. Ryan O'Reilly. Head to Brendan Gallagher for Brad Marchand. Back to Gallagher, shoots! And his save is made by Pielmeyer. And the two new best friends, Gallagher and Marchand, almost combine on a goal there. Dumba for Gallagher, in, shoots! Chance for Marchand, digging for the rebound. Pielmeyer's got it.
Can you imagine a scrum? Those two are on the same team.
Oh my gosh.
Looks like they'll get that calmed down a lot easier than had it been at home.
They might slash each other just out of habit.
Watch Gallagher quickly spin this into shooting position. It hits Marchand's leg. Pielmeyer with the save, and then Marchand punts it back at the goaltender.
We need video of the Marchand-Gallagher table tennis games, because apparently they argue everything.
Just for personality.
He says with a smile.
Well,
the little ball of hate can't contain his glee.
Sometimes you, like some guys, and I would guess I would probably be one of them, is you can't lose at anything. You just can't. You try to say, oh, it doesn't matter, but it really does. And those two guys, it's everything. Everything they do.
McDavid loose behind the goal. Connor McDavid works it back, has time, feeds it across. And a crease violation called against Matt Duchene. Will bring the face-off outside. 7:39 to go in the third period. Canada with a 4-2 lead. First week of the World Hockey Championship coming to a close here in St. Petersburg and Moscow. Taylor Hall has 2 goals for Canada in a 4-2 lead. He's tied for the tournament goal scoring lead now. Anchored across to Mueller, chipped in by Masek, and now Leon Draisaitl goes looking for it. His dad Peter, a longtime international player for Germany. And Draisaitl knocks it down to Masek. Lots of time for the Germans here. Now Anchored has to retreat, and Taylor Hall is closing on him. Hall almost got in. Now Duchene comes in. Penalty coming as Duchene picks it up for McDavid. Connor McDavid peels back, drops it down to Duchene. To McDavid. Corey Perry. Back to Tanev. Into the corner for Perry. The extra skaters on for Canada. Perry tries to play that across. Masek touches up, and with 6:51 to go in the period, Canada goes on the power play as Torsten Anchored goes off.
Taylor Hall in full flight. And you see the hand, the right hand of Anchored grab onto the stick. So Canada will look to salt this away with a power play goal here. Their 3rd power play of the game. They have the Corey Perry power play goal in the 2nd period.
O'Reilly in for the face-off against Gotch.
Team Germany, number 81.
And O'Reilly wins it back to Ceci. Cody Ceci in, shoots, scores! Cody Ceci pumps it home. And it's 5-2 Canada. And a point in every game now for Cody Ceci as well. That took 7 seconds on the power play.
Ceci had quite a second half for Ottawa. This starts with a face-off battle. Stay with it, hang on to the puck by Ryan O'Reilly, and then Ceci powders this underneath the arm of Pielmeyer. Ceci takes it on the backhand, gets over to the front, and to his forehand rather, takes 4 or 5 strides and then walks into this. But this all starts with Ryan O'Reilly, one of the league's best face-off men, winning the draw, and it wasn't an easy draw. Tied up, he stayed with it, keeps it alive, and gets it to Ceci, who makes it 5-2.
Career high 10 goals this year for Cody Ceci. You mentioned the second half burst really caught his stride when Dion Phaneuf was traded to Ottawa.
Said he became a little more confident, a little more aggressive with the puck. I find Ceci to be a really clever player, that he's got a sense of when to jump in or when there's danger, when to back off.
At the line. Stone tried to chip it out. Now Tanev does, and Seidenberg goes back with Jenner bearing in on him. Jenner shovels it towards the goal. Pielmeyer makes the stop as Jenner to a late whack at the German netminder. And now Derek Brassard and Corbinian Holzer are cross-checking.
3 goals here in the first 14 minutes of the 3rd period have spread out a 2-2 game, and when pushed, Canada did respond. They got themselves into the offensive zone. They held the puck. They created some zone time, and eventually were able to score a couple of goals. And then the Ceci goal on the power play. makes it now almost coast time in.
Off the face-off win, Thielmeier for shoots. And Matheson sends it down. Germany has Belarus tomorrow, U.S. on Sunday, Hungary on Monday. So even with a loss here today, the Germans could still make the quarterfinals. They'll have to win 2 of those last 3 games to do it. But they got an important win in the bank against Slovakia.
It doesn't appear like too many teams are going to take points off Canada and Finland, so it would be like a steal of a point for a team if they can get one off of those 2. Then the head-to-head games become all the more critical.
Right.
You like to talk about there being 3 tournaments at once.
Germany would be one of those teams that for a long time would expect to be in the mix for a quarterfinal spot. Hasn't been the case the last couple of years, but their best finish 4th in 2010, the last quarter century or so. We mentioned they won a silver medal back in 1953. That's their last medal. As Fauser has it for Cahoon, trying to center it. And Murray has it ahead for Hall. Under 5 to go here in the 3rd period. It was 2-0 Canada, then 2-2 after 2. And Canada scored 3 unanswered here in the 3rd period to take the lead. Connor McDavid in the line with Taylor Hall and Matt Duchene, and they've done some work here in the second half of this game. Ceci reaching for it. Picked up by Ehrhoff, who plays it around. Corbinian Holzer. Cahoon centers it. Fauser gets to it. A backhand shot stopped by Talbot, and he'll hang on.
Puck bouncing around in the Canadian zone. Talbot has to make the stop and is able to cover it up as Holzer pinches inside of Taylor Hall, and the Germans get a pretty good scoring chance out of it as Hall doesn't quite recognize that Holzer's coming down the wall so tightly. He thinks he's got a little more time, and Talbot has to make the stop.
Mark Stone ahead for Derek Brassard. Mason takes that away. In for Draisaitl. And some may wonder how a player born in Canada can play for a different country. The rules are very simple. If you've not played for another country internationally before, you have to spend 2 full years in the other country's domestic league and then get a passport. That's the case for Mason. Now, Dustin Boyd and Nigel Dawes, who are playing for Kazakhstan as a penalty coming to Stone, have played for Canada before. You have to spend 4 full years in the other country's domestic league and then get a passport to qualify. So the Germans are going to get a power play here. Inside 3.5 to go in the 3rd period. Gogula with it. Lines out ahead. Delayed penalty still coming. If the Germans were to score the delayed penalty, the power play would still go into force. That's a different IIHF rule from the NHL.
Stone is going to get the trip on Holzer in the 4th German power play, their 2nd of this period, about to commence. So you would think Germany going into their next game against Slovakia would likely have Thomas Greiss in goal. Greiss here from the Islanders just yesterday, so sitting on the bench as the backup. He'll be acclimatized and ready to go.
Greiss made 38 starts for the Islanders here at a .925 save percentage. It's a big part of their push to the playoffs. Hackbag around for Gogula. Gogula plays it down to Boyle. Boyle's long shot gloved by Cam Talbot, and he'll hang on.
Boyle's had a few opportunities to shoot the puck on the power play, and they want to get it to him so he can unload the puck. I'm sure all in all, Marco Sturm is pretty pleased with this game for Germany. This team was tied after 2 periods, had a power play in the 3rd period with a chance to score and go ahead.
Here comes Draisaitl with it. Is he a mean enough guy to be a head coach? I say that jokingly, but Marco Sturm, one of the truly nice people that has played in the NHL the last decade or so.
I wonder what his demeanor's like. He doesn't look like he's a yeller and a screamer behind the bench. He's not really demonstrative.
Away comes Gallagher, Marchand. Gallagher in, has a look, and his backhand shot knocked away, and Gallagher was sliding into Pielmeyer.
2 minutes left in the third period.
45 seconds to go on the power play, less than 2 to go in the period. Reimer across the line, almost collided there with Marchand. Where a scary moment earlier in this game when Corey Perry collided with Tobias Rieder of Germany. Both come away all right. Draisaitl takes the return pass from Cahoon. 30 seconds to go in the power play. King. Back for King. Leaves it there for Draisaitl. Draisaitl centering pass just out of the reach of Mueller. And away comes Duchesne, but Mueller reached back and took that away from him. Back. Seidenberg for King. Centering pass for Gotch. And Murray sends it down. Germans 0 for 4 on the power play. They've had 1 shot on each, and now Hall steals this away. Hall trying to drop it back. Now McDavid drops it down to Hall. He's got 2 goals on the night. Hall works in. Centers it, just missed Stone. McDavid back now. Hall works it around to McDavid. Connor McDavid finds Taylor Hall. Back for dump, his stick blows up. And Holzer picks up a loose puck and feeds it ahead to King. Dumba gets a new stick as King comes around. Try to work it back in front. The pass is blocked by Hall. And Talbot will glove that with 20.3 seconds remaining.
It'll be a 2-goal performance for Taylor Hall. 5 goals in the tournament, a goal in each game at least, a couple tonight. His goal will prove to be, I shouldn't say prove to be, if the game ends like this, his goal's the winner off of the McDavid pass.
Got a hat trick last year against Germany. Sent down the ice by Reinhart. Kobe and Reinhart have been used sparingly here in the 3rd period. As Hager picks it up. And the final seconds tick away. Gallagher tried to work it back in front, and Gallagher was sprawling through the crease. As time expires, Taylor Hall scores twice. Germany comes back to tie it at 2, but Canada blows it open with 3 goals in the 3rd period to win it 5-2. Canada now 4-0 in this World Championship, tied with Finland for top spot in Group B. And Canada has now won 14 straight, going back to last year's World Championship. Final shots on goal, 22-19 in favor of Canada. The shots were even at 7 in the 3rd period. In fact, over the last 2 periods, Germany outshot Canada.
We'll get 2 power play goals for Canada are the difference. A 3-goal 3rd period gives Canada their 4th straight win.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, the best players of each team will be awarded by Raiffeisen Bank International, official sponsor of the 2016 IIHF Ice Hockey World Championship. Дамы и господа, Raiffeisen International Bank, официальный спонсор
Germany's
чемпионата
next game
мира
against
по
Belarus
хоккею
tomorrow.
2016
Canada plays Slovakia on Saturday. And time now for the player of the game presentations.
The prize will be presented by Daniel Hope, Vice President of German Ice Hockey Federation. Приз вручает Даниэль Хоп, вице-президент Федерации хоккея Германии. Best player of Team Germany, number 82, Zinan Agdag.
Agdag scored the game-tying goal late in the 2nd period for Germany.
Zinan Agdag. The prize will will be presented by Evdokia Lomagina, General Coordinator of Expo Forum International Company, official operator for the 2016 IIHF World Championship. Приз вручает Евдокия Николаевна Ломагина, координатор проекта компании Expo Forum International, официального оператора чемпионата мира по хоккею 2016 в Санкт-Петербурге. Best player of Team Canada, number 4, Taylor Hall. Лучший игрок команды Канады, номер 4,
player of the game honors for Canada. Now scored 12 goals in 14 games going back to last year's World Championship, 5 in 2 games against Germany.
Oh, when they put, after Hall scored in the first period, but they put McDavid and Hall together and were quickly rewarded with what turned out to be the game-winning goal.
And now,
ladies
Canada.
and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem of the game winner, Team Canada. Выражаем благодарность проведению матча волонтеров за отличную работу и создание радушной атмосферы в спортивном комплексе юбилейной, а также на всех объектах инфраструктуры чемпионата. Спасибо.
The 2016 IIHF World Championship will continue tomorrow in the Jubilee Arena at 4:50 p.m. with the game USA versus Hungary. Дорогие друзья, ИИХФ чемпионат мира 2016 продолжится завтра на нашей арене в 16 часов 15 минут игрой команды США против команды Венгрии.
Только что в Москве закончился матч между командами России и Дании. Итоговый счет 10-1 в пользу команды России. News from Moscow. Between teams, Russia and Denmark ended with the score 10-1. Team Russia is the winner.
Okay, guys, let us go. Hey. Ready to go? Matt, probably closer than you would have liked through 40 minutes of play. What was said in the dressing room in there?
I think we just had to get back to kind of an NHL style of game. We weren't, getting pucks to the net. We were being a little too cute. You look at the third and fourth goal. We had guys going the net hard. We had a point shot, and we had to play off that. And
that's the difference in the game. So it's a good reminder for us. It's a good bit of adversity. We had it last year in this tournament early on, and it was a big win for us.
Subtle tweak by Bill on the bench, but shuffle the lines around a little bit. Did that maybe help spark things, moving Taylor onto your line with Connor?
Yeah, maybe. I thought, we had a strong third. We were in their end the entire time and buzzing, and we had some really good chances and good looks. And, we played a real fast, hard game. And, all around, the guys did great.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Good. Well, Cody, maybe a little adversity for your team here early on in the tournament. Do you think at the end of the day that'll end up being a good thing for you?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, our second period has been the strongest for the first few games, and then tonight ended up losing it. So it was a tough one for us to swallow, but we came back well in the third.
You had a nice shot there on the power play. Maybe just talk about the offense in your game and how the tournament's going for you.
Yeah, the power play was big for us tonight. We had 2 goals in the power play, and those ended up changing the whole game. So, I just ended up getting the puck at the top, and I had a clear land of the net, so I took the shot. It was early on in the power play, but when you have an opportunity like that, you got to take it. And the offense have just been clicking for me. It's nice to play on the power play with some very elite players.
Getting used to a new partner, getting used to new coaches behind the bench. How's that process coming?
Oh, it's coming along. I mean, there's little things every game that you never really think to touch on before the game, and then as they come, you kind of adjust. So as the tournament's going along, we're adjusting, and I think we're coming together pretty good.
Thanks, Cody.
Yeah, no problem.
Anker. 2 minutes penalty for Team Germany, number 81, Torsten Anker. 2 minutes, Torsten Anker. 2 minutes penalty for за задержку соперника. Окончательный счет 5-2 в пользу команды Канады.
Introducing the 2016 IIHF Player Statistics, Team Statistics, Live Updates, and introducing Hockey Cards. Your face, your team, your car. Share it with hockey fans across the world from any smart device in your own language. The 2016 IIHF app, powered by Skoda. Skoda, simply clever.
Pirelli. i0. Новая шина Pirelli i0 с уникальной технологией двойного шипа Dual Stat. Отличное сцепление и торможение на льду. Зимние шины Pirelli. Будь готов к русской зиме. Pirelli. i0.